Yeah. Yeah. Morning, everyone. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear or not? Whether my screen is visible or not?
Yeah, it's visible and voice is also clear.
Fine. So in that yesterday's demo session, just I was saying what is big data and why Hadoop required? What is the necessity for going for Hadoop technology? Okay. So it providing two services, storage and processing. The two for storing huge data and processing that huge data in quick time. So Hadoop is meant for batch applications. It's not for online applications. But if Hadoop wants to perform both the batch and online, Hadoop and NoSQL integration. Okay. And I was just demonstrating the drawbacks of databases. Limited storage, no parallel processing, as volume increasing, speed decreasing, if complexity increasing, speed decreasing. So that's the reason even mainly that databases can handle only structured data, cannot handle unstructured or semi-structured kind of data. So databases are not used as a backend to store Hadoop's data. So Hadoop advantages unlimited data storage, very high speed processing you are going to see, and what is that? Can handle all varieties of data, structured, unstructured, and semi-structured, and it's an open source, no licensing required. And yesterday I was just saying that Hadoop speed compared with any other technologies, okay, and Hadoop speed compared with any other technologies if compared with databases, they are taken days and hours of time, but Hadoop just it has taken minutes of time to process the data. And here, why databases like Oracle cannot store unlimited data? If you see in that real time, even this databases like Oracle can go with multiple machines. See databases and their limit on max number of slaves. Max number of slaves. Max number of slaves or max number of CPUs. See what are the databases and what are the max number of slaves that are allowed. Fine. Database. Oracle. Oracle. Max number of slaves. Can go with 256 CPUs or slaves. 256 nodes. CPUs. MySQL can go with maximum of 54 nodes. Can go with max of 54 nodes. DB2 can go with 256 nodes. MySQL Express is there. MySQL Express can go with 256 nodes. DB2 can go with 256 nodes. Means maximum limit on the number of nodes. And Oracle, MySQL Express, DB2, SQL Server can go with the 256 nodes. Okay, Oracle, MySQL Express, DB2, SQL Server, all this they can go with max of 256 nodes. But 256 nodes means I cannot say it's unlimited data storage. Once they get filled, we cannot store data further. So none of these databases got unlimited storage. But if you got specialized databases like Teradata, it can go with 512 CPUs or 512 nodes. 512 nodes. And Netezza, it can go with Netezza also can go with 512 nodes. And Vertica, it's another specialized database used for data warehouse purpose. It can go with 512. But if you see this Teradata and Netezza, currently they are supporting 1024 slaves, that 1024 nodes or CPUs for storing this data. Even though 1024 nodes, we cannot say it as unlimited. It's a limited. Once they gets filled, they cannot store data further. Okay, 1024 nodes. Okay. But for Hadoop, there is no limitation on the number of slaves that it can have. Can go with any number of slaves, 1000, 2000, 5000, 10,000, or 30,000. And there is no limit on the number of slaves. So these databases are specialized databases. If you observe, there is a limit on the number of slaves. But Oracle, if you 256 nodes, maximum of 256 nodes allowed. But think that if 250 nodes are filled, the performance of the system degrades. Means, for example, a labor example I give. You have got an internal storage of 256. For example, your mobile has got some internal storage of 64 GB. If 64 GB is given, if you're filling all the 64 GB, then your performance of the phone degrades. Same way here, if 256 nodes given, if almost like 256 nodes getting filled, the performance of this Oracle degrades, and even sometimes it won't even start. So, but there is no limit on the number of slaves that Hadoop can have. It can go with any number of slaves. So when Yahoo first time implemented Hadoop, it went with 4,000 slaves to store its data. It went with 4,000 nodes to store its data. Currently Yahoo going with 12,000 nodes for storing its data. When Facebook first time implemented Hadoop, went with 8,000 nodes to store its data. 8,000 nodes are CPUs. Currently, Facebook running with 36,000 nodes for storing its data. 36,000 nodes for storing its data. Okay. So this is Hadoop is proven in the market, storage point of view and processing point of view. If you observe here, Hadoop is proven in the market, storage point of view, by storing unlimited data and by supporting many slaves. That is thousands of slaves. There is no limit. Means that's why yesterday I was saying like horizontally unlimited scalability. Horizontally unlimited scalability means horizontally unlimited number of slaves can be added. If your data is increasing, then your number of slaves also can be increased horizontally. Okay. So Hadoop has proven the market, storage point of view and processing point of view. Storage point of view, by storing by supporting unlimited number of slaves. Processing point of view, yesterday just I said, very high speed because of parallel processing. Hadoop ecosystem components. What are the components that we are going to discuss as part of this course? First one is we have got some components for storage and some components for processing. So what are the storage and processing components that we are going to see as part of this course? Like HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System. I said Hadoop follows HDFS file system, but not database for storage. And for processing, we have got a MapReduce. MapReduce for processing. MapReduce is for processing, and we have got Pig, Apache Pig. This is also meant for processing. But we are using a language called Pig Latin here. Pig Latin language, a simple scripting language for performing these various operations, which defines data flows and many other built-in operators. So Pig Latin, the simplicity of Pig Latin is 100 lines of Java code we can write within 6 lines in this Pig Latin. That is what the easiness of this Pig Latin language. And Hive, Hive, it is also meant for processing. Hive, it is also meant for processing. Here we use a language. Hive is a kind of data warehouse kind of environment. Data warehouse kind of environment. Here we use a language called HQL, which is similar to SQL. We use a language called HQL, which is similar to SQL. Data warehouse kind of environment. It is HQL, which is similar to SQL. Okay. 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 Next, Scoop. We are going to discuss a component called Scoop. It's nothing but import and export operation. Scoop is nothing but SQL plus Hadoop. SQL plus Hadoop means the first two characters of SQL and the last three characters of Hadoop. Nothing but Scoop. First two characters and last three characters of this forms Scoop. It is for import or export operations. Import or export operations. Import or export operations. For importing data from databases to Hadoop and for exporting data from Hadoop to the databases, we use this Scoop. Apart from this, we have discussed like NoSQL databases for online processing, for random access, and for schemaless behavior. We go for NoSQL databases. For random access, schemaless behavior, highly scalable. These are highly scalable random access schemaless behavior. And as part of the, we have got many NoSQL databases like HBase, Cassandra, MongoDB, CouchDB, React, Peanut, Neo4j. In this way, many NoSQL data. But what we are going to discuss like HBase. Why only HBase? Why only HBase? Nothing but HBase. HBase is meant for only for Hadoop environment. It works only for Hadoop environment. But Cassandra, MongoDB is not for only Hadoop applications, but for open applications. And apart from this, I'm going to discuss like Yarn, yet another resource negotiator. Yet another resource negotiator. From the Hadoop 2 version onwards, there is a huge changes that you see. The previous drawbacks, everything, they're rectified here in Hadoop 2 onwards. We have what high availability. Okay. Next is Flume. Flume. Flume is nothing but streaming, for streaming data. So to work with streaming data, we go over Flume. Streaming data are the data which keeps on generating, the data which keeps on incrementing. Such kind of data we call it as streaming data. To capture such kind of data and store the data into this HDFS, later using these components, big components, we can using these components like a pig or Hive or Spark or this processing components, just we are going to process that data. Capturing live streaming data and just dumping the data into HDFS. And we have got Kafka. Advanced streaming component and messaging system. Advanced streaming and messaging. Next, Zookeeper. Next is what? Zookeeper. Control and coordinates all the activities. Controls and coordinates. Okay. All the Hadoop components, controls and coordinates, all Hadoop components. It's just like the name itself saying Zookeeper. means it is going to control and coordinates for connection establishment, all this the zookeeper. So these are the components that we are going to discuss, like three processing components, one NoSQL database, two streaming components, one storage component, that what we are discussing. So everything will be in depth. We are going to discuss HDFS, MapReduce, Pig, Hive, Scoop, everything I'm going to show. I will just going to type and show you all these examples step in a step-by-step process. Okay. From the scratch ground level to the advanced level, how to run this. So how to run this within this cluster, within the cluster level, and how to run this within this Cloudera distributions. Okay. So just Hadoop has proven in the market, I said, storage point of view and processing point of view. For storage point of view and processing point of view, I just given some examples to you. Horizontally unlimited scalability, horizontally unlimited scalability, I said, and for processing, yesterday I was just saying an example, Hadoop speed compared with any other databases. So they are taking days of times or hours of time, but okay. Fine. Okay. Now observe how exactly data stored and processed within Hadoop. How exactly data stored and processed. How exactly data stored and processed within Hadoop. For example, yes. Okay, you can get the recording, not a problem. How exactly data stored. How exactly data stored in Hadoop. In Hadoop. In Hadoop, data is stored in the form of files. Data is stored in the form of files. Each file again subdivided into blocks. Each file again subdivided into blocks. In Hadoop, data is stored in the form of files. Each file again subdivided into blocks. Default block sizes. Default block sizes. By default it is 64 MB, but for the latest from 2 version and 3 version it is 128 MB. Default block size is 64 MB, but latest version you have got like 128 MB. Latest version, the default block size is 128 MB. That's 128 MB, 64 MB and 128 MB. Okay. Okay, Hadoop data is stored in the form of files. Files are divided into blocks. Again, default block size is 64 MB and latest version it is 128 MB. Now observe this, how this data is going to be divided into blocks and how they are distributed, how they are stored and how they are processed. For example, f1.txt, I got a file f1.txt. The size of this file, think that it's 200 MB. Into how many blocks it is divided, number of blocks, file size by default block size, file size by default block size. Block size, file size by default block size, 200 MB by default block size, 64, 4 blocks. Hmm. 4 blocks, slave 1, slave 2, slave 3, slave 4, B1 here, B2, B3, B4. So 200 MB by 64, 64, 64. The fourth block is going to have like 8 MB. Otherwise, one second. Now block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4. Block 1 of 64 MB, block 2 of 64 MB, block 3 of 64, block 4 of 8 MB. Here 56 MB free. 56 MB is free. I'm sorry. At Hadoop, a file divided into block. File 200 MB of file divided into blocks by default block size, and blocks are going to get distributed across the slaves, and each block is going to be stored in one slave, S1 and this S2, S3, S4. Okay, here I got one more file, f2.txt, f2.txt, size 192 MB. F2.txt size is 192. Number of blocks, how many? To 192 by 64 means how many? 3 blocks. Exactly like 3 blocks. One ninety two by 64, 3 blocks. B1, B2, B3. B1, B2, B3. Okay. B1 block 64, B2 of 60, this B1. Otherwise think it is B5, B5, B6 and B7. Observe carefully. B5, B6 and B7. B5, B5 64, B6 64, B7 also 64, totally 192 MB. Observe here, previously how Hadoop data is stored in the form of files, file divided into blocks. How many blocks? 64 MB chunks blocks. And here I got a query. Here 56 MB of 56 MB is free in B4. Why this B5 data not stored in this B4? Think f1.txt is a banking file. It's a banking data, and f2.txt is nothing but some telecom data. Now some telecom data. Think that, for example, if you want to retrieve f1.txt, retrieving f1.txt, retrieving f1.txt means b1 plus b2 plus b3 plus b4. if if b5 stored in b4, if b5 stored in b4, b5 data stored in b4, assume this 64 plus 64 plus 64 plus 8 plus 56, that is 256 MB, but actual file size 200 MB. This is wrong computation. This is wrong computation because whenever you are retrieving F1 banking data, you are getting some 56 MB of telecom data. Means this is wrong computation. Means what is your observation here? What is your observation here? All these blocks of data, blocks, all these blocks, b1, b2, b3, b4, every file is going to have its own blocks. f1.txt has got its block, f2.txt has got its blocks. Okay, fine. How that file divided into blocks, how the blocks are distributed across the slaves and are processed. Okay. File, 1 second. Now observe design principles with respect to HDFS blocks. So in Hadoop, data is stored in the form of files. Each file subdivided into blocks. Default block size is 64 MB. Now, design principles with respect to HDFS blocks. With respect to HDFS blocks. Blocker. Observe. Each file has got a dedicated number of blocks. Each file will have dedicated number of blocks. Dedicated number of blocks. Each file will have dedicated number of blocks. Means f1.txt has got some blocks and number of blocks. f2.txt will have its own block. And here, if you observe, in a single block, no two files data can be stored. All the blocks will have equal values. All the blocks will have equal values. Except the last block. Observe here, all the blocks will have equal volumes except the last block, I said. Means if you observe this diagram, in Hadoop, data is divided into blocks. File divided into blocks. File was 200 MB. Default block size is 64 MB. 200 by 64, 4 blocks. All the blocks have got equal volume except the last block has got only 8 MB. This is what design principles with respect to. We can also increase or decrease the default block size. We can configure the block size. We can also configure the block size. block size. That is increase or decrease the, that is increasing or decreasing the block size. What is that? Increasing or decreasing, increasing or decreasing the block size. Block size. Default block size is 64 MB. If you want to increase or decrease, we can make it like 100 MB, or you can make it 50 MB or 40 MB, configuring the block size. So which one is advantageous, increasing the block size or decreasing the block size? Can anyone please respond? Increasing or decreasing? Block size is 64 MB. If you are increasing or decreasing. So how to configure the block size and how to increase or decrease, I'll discuss. But before that, I'll show one example how exactly data stored and processed within Hadoop. Data storage and processing in Hadoop. Data storage and processing. Okay, I got a file f1.txt. Think the size of this file 192 MB. Think you got some 3 lakh records here, 30 lakh records. Okay, how many blocks? The file is divided into how many blocks? Number of blocks equal to file size by default block size. That is 3 blocks. Three blocks. B1, B2, B3. Okay. B1 block, think that you have got some 10 lakh records. In B2 block, 10 lakh records. In B3 block, 10 lakh records. How these blocks are going to get stored across this Hadoop cluster? This master node, these are slave nodes. These are master and these are slaves. This is S1, this is S2, and this is S3. B1 here, B2 here, B3 here. 3 blocks are stored across 3 slaves. B1 block 10 lakh records, B2 block 10 lakh records, B3 block 10 lakh records. Each we are storing 10 lakh, 10 lakh, 10 lakh records. Observe. This is my master node. A name node we say, master node or name node. It stores what? Metadata. It stores what? Metadata. Metadata means what? Data about data. It won't store the data. It will store data about data. Which block stored in which slaves? That. This we call it as data nodes. Data nodes means the actual data is stored with this data nodes. Means name node stores, for example, f1.txt file divided into how many blocks? B1, B2, and B3. B1 stored in S1, B2 in S2, B3 in S3. Okay, data storage and processing, master name node divided into blocks. The blocks are stored across the slaves, data nodes. Okay, master node, name node stores metadata. Metadata means data about data. Okay, B1 stored in S1, B2 in S2, B3 in S3. This is how the data stored, how this data is getting stored in Hadoop. Here I have taken a small file of 192 MB. Think that it is in GBs. Multiple blocks going to be stored across multiple slaves, processed parallelly. So this B1 10 lakh records, B2 10 lakh means in Hadoop, distributed storage and parallel processing means two things. The data is going to get distributed across the slaves and data is going to be processed by multiple slaves parallelly. Now processing, how processing is going to happen? My job is to process f1.txt. My job is to process f1.txt. Job is divided into tasks. Onto how many tasks? Number of tasks. Number of tasks always depends on number of unique blocks. How many blocks? 3 blocks. 3 blocks means 3 tasks. T1, T2, T3. T1, T2, T3. T1 task is for executing B1 block. T2 task is for executing B2 110 lakh records. T3 task is for executing B3. So here my job is to process f1.txt file. It is divided into how many tasks? T1 task, T2 task, and T3 task. T1 task is for executing what? B1 10 lakh records. T2 task is for executing B2 10 lakh records. T3 task is for executing B3 10 lakh records. 10 lakh records. Okay. So who should execute this T1 task? Can you please answer? Who should execute this T1 task? Which system, which slave need to execute this? Which slave need to execute this? S1 only, because B1 10 lakh records is present in S1, so S1 slave only should execute this T1 task. B2, S2, slave 2, B3, yes. So all this S1, S2, S3, all these three slaves are going to execute the three tasks T1, T2, T3 parallelly. Three slaves S1, S2, S3 are executing are executing three tasks T1, T2, T3 parallelly. What is that? Parallelly. Three slaves S1, S2, S3 are executing three tasks T1, T2. So T1 task to S1, T2 task to S2, T3 task to S3. Three tasks T1, T2, T3 are assigned to three slaves S1, S2, S3. So all they are going to get executed parallelly. Three tasks T1, T2, T3 are executed by three slaves parallelly. Okay, so this is how data is, how a file how it is divided into blocks, how the blocks are stored across the slaves, and what name node stores, what data node stores, and how this job, how this processing happening within Hadoop. Job divided into tasks. Task depends on number of blocks, and the tasks are going to be assigned to different slaves. T1 task, T2, T2, T3. Okay, so this I can say like a case one. Case one, number of blocks equal to, if number of blocks equal to number of slaves. Number of blocks equal to number of slaves, more parallelism. More parallelism. Number of blocks equal to number of slaves, more parallelism we can see. More parallelism means, see, S1, S2, S3. Think that if you have got 30 slaves, 30 slaves means 30, if you have got 30 tasks, 30 tasks are executed by 30 slaves parallelly. Here, number of blocks equal to number of slaves means full parallelism, more parallelism you can see, full parallelism you can see. But observe this case 2. Observe this case 2. Number of blocks greater than number of slaves. Number of blocks means, think it is, we have got 4 blocks. Slaves, 2 slaves. For example, B1, B2, B3, B4, 4 blocks. We got 2 slaves, S1 and S2, 2 slaves. B1, B2, B3, B4, 4 blocks and 2 slaves. How this is going to be happening? Observe. Now observe. Mm, 1 second. I've taken a file f1.txt. The file size is like 230 MB. Assume size is 230 MB. Number of blocks 230 by 64. 4 blocks. 4 blocks means B1, B2, B3, B4. B1, B2, B3, and B4. How these blocks are stored across the slaves? Only 2 slaves we have got this time. S1 and S2. So how these blocks are going to get distributed? B1 here, B2 here, B3 here, and B4 here. 4 blocks into 2 slaves means here name node stores the metadata, means f1.txt file divided into how many blocks? B1, B2, B3, B4. This information should be available within the name node. B1 stored where? In S1. B2, S2. B3, S1. B4, S2. This why? Because tomorrow if name node wants to retrieve a particular file f1.txt, where this f1.txt is getting stored, in which blocks, in which slaves, that information should be. Tomorrow if you want to retrieve, it will combine all these 4 blocks. So for combining, you should know these blocks are available in which slaves. So that entire information you will see within the name node. Now this storage and processing, you see, job is to process f1.txt. Job is to process f1.txt. Job is divided into number of blocks. Job is divided into tasks. Number of tasks, how many? Number of blocks. Here how many blocks? 4 blocks means 4 tasks. Why 4 blocks means 4 tasks? Each task is to execute each block. 4 tasks for executing 4 blocks. Job is to process f1.txt. Okay, I've got a T1, T2, T3, T4. T1 is for executing B1, T2 is for executing B2, T3 is for executing B3, T4 for B4. Who should execute T1 task? Now try to answer. Who should execute T1 task? S1. Since B1 is present in S1, S1 only. Who should execute T2 task? S2. Who should execute T3 task? S1. B4, S2. Means here S1 executing T1, T3, S2 executing T2, T4. Means here if a number of blocks here, if you observe, number of blocks greater than number of slaves, less parallelism. Why less parallelism means S1 and S2, we have what? S1 and S2. S1 executing which task? T1, T3. S2 executing T2 and T4. Here in S1, when T1 is executing, T3 will be in waiting state. Here in S2, T2 is executing, T4 will be in waiting state. Means at a point of time, only 2 tasks will be executed, other 2 will be in the waiting state. Why? Because only 2 slaves. For example, I've got 4 tasks, only 2 persons. If I give a labor example, 4 tasks, only 2 persons. Means only 2 tasks will be executed. Once they complete the task, next other 2 tasks will be. So in this case, 2 tasks are in the waiting state. For example, P1, P2, 2 persons. There are 4 tasks. Each task take 1 hour. So if I give to these 2 persons, how many hours it takes to complete the 4 tasks? 2 hours. Why 2 hours means? First P1, T1 task, T2 task, he executes, both executes, 1 hour it takes. Next T3 and T4, they are going to execute 1 hour, total 2 hours. But if 4 persons executing 4 tasks means within 1 hour you can complete. Here also the same thing. If more slaves, more parallelism, less slaves, less parallelism. Here S1 executing 2 tasks, S2 executing 2 tasks sequentially. But if you have got more slaves, more parallelism. But if you have got only one slave, case 3 is what? If only one slave, all the tasks should be executed by that one slave sequentially, one after the another. Okay, so that is just I showed you how this, how exactly this data is stored and processed within this Hadoop environment. Yeah, any queries you have got, anyone? So just I showed you what are the components I am going to discuss and how Hadoop is proven in the market storage point of view, for processing point of view, and how exactly data is stored and processed within Hadoop. Any queries as part of today's session? Okay, I'll just stop here for today. Fine. So we'll discuss in tomorrow's session more on this. For example, I got one query. If you go to this case 1, 3 tasks are executed by 3 slaves parallelly. During this, suddenly if one slave goes down, then B1 10 lakh records, B2 10 lakh records, B3 10 lakh records. 10 lakh records in S1, 10 lakh records in S2, 10 lakh records in S3. Means each slave executing 10 lakh records parallelly. Suddenly if one slave goes down, then 10 lakh records are lost and T2 task. Two things you can observe: data is lost and the task is failed. How Hadoop is able to overcome this kind of situation? We got a concept called fault tolerance and replication. What is replication? What do you mean by fault tolerance? If any slave goes down, so if the 10 lakh records or transactions, think that it is sensitive data like bank data, then it is a huge loss if the data is lost. But if it is insensitive data like Facebook data, okay, if 10 lakh records lost, not a problem. But bank data, 10 lakh records, so for sensitive data, we need to go for replication and fault tolerance. Hadoop overcomes the situation by using replication and fault tolerance. What is that I'm going to discuss in tomorrow's session. Fine. Stopping here for today. Meet you tomorrow, same time, same day. Okay.